Hulo, what was the secret you had hidden right under our noses all the time?
It would be better if you spoke to Inspector Lebrun directly. I will show you in immediately. I do not want to be mixed up in all this. No thanks, it's not for me. Way too complicated.
Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
We've been barking up the wrong tree from the start, Inspector. The Whites never were the Whites.
The Whites were not the Whites? McPherson, what are you talking about?
Ruby and Regis are not the real names of the Orphée victims. I have in my possession a ring that clearly indicates the woman's name was Faye.
That does not prove anything, McPherson. What about all the sweet talk, huh? Faye and Ferry. Of course! Why complicate things to my Ferry with love?
A letter. A letter signed Sophia Blake confirms that they were hired to commit a robbery. The letter is addressed to Faye and Jerome Johnson, Inspector.
Thieves? What did they steal then, McPherson? We did not find anything in their room, and moreover, no one has brought up charges. Explain that.
They robbed Grégoire d'Alpin. The plan was orchestrated by the same woman who hired me, Sophia Blake. This is a major con trick, Inspector.
D'Alpin? Grégoire d'Alpin? The banker? McPherson, I assure you that a man as important as Grégoire d'Alpin would have called on the police to solve this case. He has the means, believe me.
If you have any doubts about d'Alpin's involvement, I have something that will convince you, Inspector. A glass vial, taken from his home, identical to the one found broken in the White's room.
McPherson, Grégoire d'Alpin is surely not the only man in the world to own such a vial. It proves nothing.
Stop protecting d'Alpin. He's the only man in Paris who can obtain these vials. The only one capable of putting this gas inside them. The purple gas he uses to put his victims to sleep.
Leave the vial with me. I will have it examined.
It's strange, but it's true. Doubtless d'Alpin preferred to sort this business out in the greatest secrecy. Just ask Helouin. He's the one who investigated it.
I would have to check with Monsieur d'Alpin. I can't tell you more, McPherson.
Your charge of murder against Helouin just doesn't hold water, Inspector Lebrun. Another man is dead, Hulot. Albert Hulot was killed in the same circumstances as the Whites and Mallet.
In other words, the accomplice is still out there.
Here you are.
Thank you, McPherson.
Inspector Lebrun, what I have shown you is irrefutable proof of Helouin's innocence. I found the knife used to cut off the victims' heads.
The murder weapon must be a knife of extreme precision, medical precision, with an incredibly sharp blade. Show me what you have, McPherson.
This is the murder weapon, just as I found it at Grégoire d'Alpin's home.
Thank you, McPherson.
D'Alpin. D'Alpin is dead. He's been dead for over a week.
What are you talking about? If anything happens to Mr. d'Alpin, I assure you heads will roll.
D'Alpin looks to have died peacefully of old age. Nothing like the other murders. I have a photo here. See for yourself.
Even if Mr. d'Alpin had died of natural causes, it would not prove Helouin's innocence, McPherson. Quite the contrary.
If d'Alpin has been dead for over a week, he couldn't have hired Helouin to investigate. Do you not see, Inspector? Somebody else hired Helouin.
And I suppose you're going to tell me who this mysterious person is, Mr. McPherson.
You've got very little on Helouin, Inspector. Unless you have further evidence, your culprit will soon be a free man, cleared of all suspicion.
I have some solid witnesses, and moreover, a very accurate witness sketch. Thank you.
1 gold, 1 brass. One at the Alpins, the other at Kaufner's. 2 ancient coins. These prove that both men were involved in the murders.
Everyone has the right to collect ancient coins. Anyway, what has Dr. Kaufner to do with all this?
That is too much. Will you never face up to the facts? You know as well as I do that coins like these were found on all the victims.
How do you know about the coins?
A couple of anonymous sources are enough to keep me abreast.
Beauvais will get an earful about this. Leave the coins with me. They are evidence.
No way. You said so yourself. This is evidence. I'll wait until real charges have been brought.
As you wish, McPherson. As you wish.
You heard his story. Elouin did not kill the whites. He didn't even know them.
Like you, Elouin is a mercenary, Mr. McPherson. Ready to do anything for a little money.
I continue to doubt his guilt.
You're not a judge, Mr. McPherson. But if you think you can prove his innocence, go ahead.
But Inspector, Elouin and Hulot never met. He had no motive for killing him.
Elouin had never met the whites, but he killed them nonetheless. Albert Hulot was probably another embarrassing witness.
I'm not giving up, Inspector. Quite the opposite. I will be back when I have some news.
Fine, McPherson. Come back whenever you want. You know where to find me. Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
So, until proven otherwise, Elouin is my #1 suspect.
I'm not giving up, Inspector. Quite the opposite. I will be back when I have some news.
Fine, McPherson. Come back whenever you want. You know where to find me.
Mr. Macpherson, did you know that in Tarot, the hanged man is not put to death, but confronted by his destiny instead? Arriving at his journey's end, he is able to see his life again from a new angle.